thing. A number of things must be done. And they must be done in such a way that it hits the South Africans where it hurts. We have to speak like this because when your country is under attack, and make no mistake, when the citizens of a country are under attack, the country is under attack. And personally, I don't relate to that, decorously.
Right.
We fight back, and there's every reason to fight back. So I think the actions that must be taken in such a way that it hurts the South Africans.
Ghana Gossip TV soon any Michelle subscribe mommy. Young pudding combo key points TV3 and Kofi Bentil and I feel neka say practice legal practitioner lawyer Martin Kpebu Moko kudin combo na the nsema ebobo ban anode in the xenophobic niema aircost or South Africa and Mobia Africa will be a condemn and bebe ma Julius Malemani nkomo kodi me kan wasam at the brow and then so e bi masa so by TV3 key points number 3 ma me why I mean titiro mu now we Martin Kpebu o say niema aircost South Africa no eni enyan na sempefo anfom ho anjim African uniform from ho anjim na se asanom skeleton a obi de ho beji umsa nche bia ene ya te say Zimbabwe president Otimi stop over 5,000 trucks are able to Zimbabwe mu a mu free near Canada South Africa. So we and say be ebasa Africa in Kabumu unity no eba betete pansam. Nti Martin Kpebu edi hu komo na e kwa kutie no. Na owie no na Kofi Bentil edi aso atum odi aso anaso odi nanum sem atudwa. E dey fa issues a ekoso e wo near Canada South Africa. Unim sem okan. O se yen kan kre entre nipa say he sanke kono kwa padanka His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on siu MTN on siu Shoprite South Africa mo company some more Ghana ha say no aka on siu mo san say o so blemu mo say yeso ye wa ha ye dipa e de akoko ye mamu ade ne ye nkasa o mo nkasa nti ase saneman enye nti o mo ntwa so honom nti ono Kofi Bentil de ekono kwa de ka President Mahama on siu mo na sika no benya no yemfa empata omo a ye go bi mu ye chi bi mutum ene sane manam nti we ene stories a e trend e wo social media na say e koso wa bia e South Africa nti so mamete nkan o comment section wo aha ye Ghana ye trends and say Gossip TV me so subscribe mami na bibia no etimi kama.
And let me put it on record and quickly before I lose it. You were the first to make this suggestion on Key Point 5 weeks ago that the president should organize a flight to evacuate Ghanaians. It appears that suggestion fell on some listening ears.
I am so happy about what this government has done. Yes, I was here with the foreign minister and I said, even if it means taking the presidential jet to go and bring them. Because you see, there are times when, and one of the things I don't like about what has happened is some people trying to politicize NDC and NPP. There are times when a nation is attacked, when your country is attacked from outside, you band together. Nobody should do any NPP and DC. And when we were here, I said, look, there are times when a nation asserts itself. And one of these times is when your citizens are under attack from somewhere. And forget about people talking about who is legal and who is not illegal. There are so-called illegal immigrants in every country. Every country. Migration is the history of mankind. All right? And I don't want to digress, but the whole law around migration is man-made law. God never put boundaries on earth. Okay? And everybody came from Africa. Everybody migrated. The worst migration in human history is slavery.
Absolutely.
All right? When they wanted people to go and work, they came here without visas. They entered our land without immigration. Okay? They abducted our people. That was a crime. They assaulted them in their land. That was a crime. They traded human beings here. That was a crime. Okay? They rendered them human trafficking across the seas. That was a crime. People died in the void. That was a crime. They took them into Caribbean, US, etc., sold human beings, trafficked in human beings. That was a crime. They proceeded to use them without paying them. That was a crime. I can go on. The worst form of human migration lawlessness was slavery, perpetrated by the same people who have made laws against immigration. And today, when you go, they try to tell you who is legal and who is not legal. Even recently, when they wanted people to come and help them, they did DV lottery. I told one of my friends that I will never try that thing. I don't have a problem with people who try it, but this is why. I said, you won't come and come and pick the best of our people, take them there. When you need it, it's fine. And today, look at what Donald Trump is doing. So look, this thing about immigrants, whether it's lawful or whatever, there's no point there, right? There's no
documented,
point
undocumented.
there's no point there. What, like Martin said, and again, I don't want to digress, but the law is important here. If anybody enters your territory, you have a responsibility to protect that person, even if they are so-called illegal according to your law. All right, and we don't want to go into that, but because of that, yes, the legal matters must go on. We should not allow them to go away with this. Listen, this is more than the third time. Okay, there's a saying that first time is happenstance; it just happened. Second time is coincidence. The third time is enemy action. Why I'm saying so is that you cannot tell me that the government of South Africa does not know or is not capable of dealing with this. These are riffraffs. Jacinta and co are illiterate nincompoops. Okay? They don't know anything about their history. They are not enlightened. Look, even if they have gone to school, they are not educated. Even if they are educated, they are not enlightened. They don't know their history. This is like, without due respect, some foolish boys from some slum in Ghana going to attack some foreigners elsewhere. Your government must clamp down on them because it reflects on your country. Look, South Africa has failed. The Africans' leadership, Ramaphosa should not come here. Nobody wants to see him here. Look, what they have to do, they should do it in South Africa. All right? And it is sad that we have to say this about our black brothers there. But they are a woeful, disgraceful failure. You have had all these years after apartheid, and all the things people are saying, look, the more we talk about these things, the more we are going to sound like we are denigrating them. But those of us who have been to South Africa, we know the experiences we have had. All right? So the fact remains that they have not done a good job lifting themselves out of poverty. And they attacked the white people. The white people fought back. All right? They've attacked everything they can attack. What is going on now is attacking the most vulnerable section of their society, black immigrants. Why are they not attacking white immigrants? These are the most
said the white
vulnerable.
immigrants, the white immigrants are not taking their jobs.
My brother.
So they don't have a problem with the whites.
We can
It's
go
the
and
blacks.
analyze that, but trust me, black immigrants are the most vulnerable. That's why they are attacking them. The AU is a sorry disappointment. It is useless. It has no effect on anybody. When we were growing up, we know about Organization of African Unity, OAU. All of us here knew about them. And we kind of had a certain respect for them because they were a mobilizing force in a certain sense. All right? Over the years, my children don't know AU, what it does, and it has no effect on their lives. It is such a useless body, we won't miss it if it is thrown away. All right? Because this is what they must be doing. I mean, ask me.
They've issued a statement.
Yeah, and then? Okay, look, listen. You see the EU has an effect in the lives of Europeans. If you even sell rotten food in Europe, anywhere in Europe, you will hit an EU law and they'll come after you. So much so that that's what caused Brexit. There was so much in the lives of average Europeans that people felt like their sovereignty was being taken over by the EU. And that's how you behave. You make sure that the citizens in your sphere, your jurisdiction, are experiencing something positive as a result of your existence.
Yes.
The AU is so useless right now. The more I speak about them, the worse it will become. But look, if there is any redemption, okay, they can use this as redemption. Okay. Now, South Africa is the second largest economy in Africa for one reason only. There are natural resources and the white people there who have built companies out of there. Nigeria is the biggest, okay? They have well organized themselves. And because of that, they have more multinationals out of South Africa into the rest of Africa than any country, even in Ghana. Okay, now that is a strength, but it's also a weakness. Okay, if the AU wanted to do anything, okay, the AU could have used that as a lever to force them to respect the citizens of the various African countries that they've gone into. Have you heard MTN in US or UK or somewhere in Europe? They're making their money in Africa. ShopRite, they're making their money in Africa. The citizens of the various African countries that they are oppressing are the people they are making their billions from. The Goldfields company we are talking about, they are making their money in Africa. They are mining in Australia. Go and see the conditions under which they are mining in Australia. They can't take their money out of Australia. Okay, so look, there are so many ways that this could have been dealt with. And I have a massive problem with the South African business community. I've written about it. I urge everybody to read my Facebook if you can find it. And for me, that's where we are going. We should hit them where it hurts. Yes, people say we are emotional. I don't have a problem being emotional when you attack my citizens. I don't. I don't at all.
Oh, emotions always help.
No,
always help.
For me, it gives me the necessary energy because over the week, I got a call from a very big man that I respect. And I told him, sir, I don't want to think. I don't want to think because I want to react in a way that has effect. Take Goldfields, okay? And on my Facebook, I've listed a number of companies that are doing business
In
here.
fact, I saw a write-up yesterday before this morning. We'll run through it briefly.
They are making
there are few
billions
views on
of
it.
dollars from Ghana and every African country, okay? And I've said a couple of things that, one, when the xenophobia started, I said it 3 times at least. They can't say they don't know. They know. They can't say they don't understand. They do. And they are trading in every African country and making billions. And the same people you are making money from are being attacked in your home country by riffraffs that you should be able to take care of. The least they could have done, Goldfields, MTN, whoever making billions, is issue a statement and say, hey, there's such a thing, a concept called a good corporate citizen. You have become MTN in Ghana. You are a citizen of Ghana and you're supposed to be a good corporate citizen. What it means is you know where you are from. When you see these things happening, what good corporate citizens do is, one, express the necessary sentiments and sensitivity. So MTN, ShopRite, Goldfields, all the South African companies here, the least they could have done is say, hey, people in my country, note that we are also in somebody's country, we are making money, we are bringing back there, and then you guys are benefiting from it one way or the other. Issue a statement. The statement must be directed at your people, must be directed at your government, and you must try to get them to tone down. You should go beyond that. If you are making billions here, okay, how many Ghanaians have we repatriated so far? Less than 1,000. We saw their shops being, attacked, and yes, we should sue for our assets, but because they've looted it, okay. How much would it have cost Goldfields, MTN, and all the others here to put together money and provide security through the Ghanaian government for Ghanaians in South Africa? My view is that it would not cost you too much. And my estimation of it is that if they did everything perfectly, it wouldn't cost them more than $10 million. All right? They did nothing. They saw our people attacked. They didn't say anything. They didn't try. They didn't lift a hand. They didn't do anything. They didn't engage their governments. And yes, Justin Zuma, that illiterate girl who doesn't know her history, should by now be sued, and she should be running around answering questions from her government. Well, and the person who should have been suing that person will be through the Ghanaian consulate, backed by money from South African companies in Ghana and across Africa. She's still walking around saying things that she doesn't know about. All right? Nothing like that has happened. Then our government goes in, they had to camp these people, okay? And again, it costs money. You think we have money to throw around? You think Ghana has spare money that we can use to go and charter planes and bring back and forth? If you are a good corporate citizen, you are a sensitive corporate citizen, if you are Goldfields and your lease is due for renewal, and we Ghanaians are going to sit down, look at you, and decide whether to renew it or not, you better sit up. The least you could have done was to say, oh, dear Ghana government, I see this problem. Sorry, I can't do anything about it, but here's some $2 million, please. Use it to create security and bring your people back. Nothing like that. And today you are asking us to renew your gold license over which you have made over 30 million. And I'm aware they're a big taxpayer. I'm aware of all the other things. Okay. I'm also aware they've made a ton of money out of this place. And the least they could have done was to show that concern. They haven't showed it. Okay. So me, as far as I am concerned, we should hit them where it hurts.
And that's one of the
that is the reason why
in our toolbox
I still stand by my position that we should not renew the Goldfields lease. And by the way, let me land, please. Maybe when we come around, we'll go again. See, the decisions will be made by Mr. President and the powers that be. But I'm quite sure that even if you think I am being emotional or whatever it is, I am not alone. And it's a very popular position. If this government renews the Goldfield lease, they'll pay for it. Okay. On the other hand, again, I stand in the place where I see the numbers, I see the figures, I know, what it means. Okay. But trust me, people go to war, countries go to war. When you go to war, you know what you know? People are going to die, citizens are going to die. You are going to lose resources, spend money. But sometimes there's a reason to go to war. So if we give up what Goldfields is giving us, just to let them know that if you hit us where it hurts, we will hit you where it hurts, it will send a message. So me, I'm saying what I'm saying because there is a good reason why tomorrow the president or somebody else will come and say, oh, because of this and because of that and because of that, we should renew their lease. We will not understand.
No,
all right? We will not understand. We are not touching MTN. Okay? Why?
Why are we not touching MTN?
I'm explaining. MTN does not have a lease that is up for renewal. Okay, so you can't just go out and touch them. And in that sense, I'm saying nobody's attacking South Africans or South African businesses in Ghana. We are not. We are simply saying it turns out that Goldfields has a lease that has come for renewal. And in renewing the lease, we have to consider so many other things. And to that extent, therefore, because this has happened and coincided, we should take the opportunity not to renew their lease. It doesn't say we are attacking them or anything. We are just exercising our prerogative because of some of the things going on. And I've spoken about why they should have done things they shouldn't do. Now, going forward, you see, why it's easy to deal with Goldfields this way is because they are not well integrated into the Ghanaian economy. Okay? If for any reason, for me, if you leave me alone, I'll say all the South African businesses here should list at least 30% of their value on the Ghana Stock Exchange. They take all the money away. And because we wanted investments, okay, after 83 and all the things that happened, we created a very liberal investment climate. We should start clamping down, starting with South African companies. They should list at least 30%. There are pension funds that can find places to invest in Ghana. Everybody's going to T-bills, and it's crazy. Okay, we should start exacting things from them, which will give us value, and we should also start bearing our teeth at them. If they start messing with our people, there's a lot more to say.
Perfect. In fact, you've touched on a number of things which will tease out, because have we exhausted all the other channels diplomatically and so on?
Yes.
That you think so? For us to now resort to these measures and other arsenals that you have suggested this morning?
You see, again, like I said, when you have enemy action, somebody deliberately does something. In Tree, there is a proverb that says that what it means is that if somebody does not have the shamelessness, I don't know how to interpret it, but okay, if the person goes to a certain level with you, you to go to that level with them. Okay, I do believe without a shadow of doubt that our foreign minister didn't just jet into that place and went to carry the Ghanaians out. They would have engaged each other. I've told you about the uselessness of AU. That should have happened. I believe something has happened, feeble as it is. You just heard that Cyril Ramaphosa flew in the last time. I have a feeling, in fact, I have some information which I do believe, that he has even expressed interest coming back again. All right? So some diplomatic work, I believe, is ongoing. It is inadequate. It is not sufficient. Look, sometimes the diplomacy works, but it works to the point where it disappoints citizens because nothing happens in a way that assuages our anger. Okay, so I don't have a doubt that, given the competence that Sam Okujeto Ablakwa has shown in this area, I don't have a doubt that he's engaging them diplomatically. And please, the diplomacy must end in court. They must pay for it. So my point is, yes, it has worked or it hasn't worked or it has happened. We must take steps commensurate with the suffering of our people. Now they've come. You see that they've been giving, they was giving some money. There's a cost to it. That charter that we did, there's a cost to it. They are coming to have to assimilate. There's a cost to all kinds of things. The least these South African companies can do is to get together, okay, go and see some Okujeto, okay, and ask them, how much did it cost you? Everything. Double it twice and pay to the Ghana government. Okay, they should get together, and there's a list of the people who have been brought back here. Okay, look, and I'm not saying this is like a fool. I'm not saying like somebody who hasn't considered them. They are possible, they can be done. There is nothing that stops the Ghana government from requesting that the people who have been brought to Ghana be employed by the South African companies in Ghana. They should find jobs for each of them, or at least the majority of them. So there's a lot that can be done behind the scenes. But my point is that whatever is done, okay, we should do something that hits them where it hurts. So the next time it happens again, they will think twice and say, hey, these Ghanaian people, they react in a certain way. Then they will take care of their people over there, and these things are likely to stop. Right. If we don't do anything, it will go on.
No, Prof, so
it's reasonable and rational beings. We will not sit here to say that our citizens should breach the laws of any other country willy-nilly. No. That can never be the argument. But what is at stake now is essentially about due process. What we have here is chaos I mean, South Africa is not able to afford our citizens the needed protection. Is that chaos that we are berating now? The two are separate. I think so far, the ones you've interviewed on this, your network, etc., have not made an argument that they have the right to live there, come what may, whether they have they are documented or not. No, that's not been it. That's not been it at all. And you remember, even before this round of chaos, the previous one, when they targeted that Ghanaian and took him on and on, it turned out that he was properly documented. You remember?
Yes.
So at this stage, it appears that we would not do the debate much good if we were to dwell on the issue of documentation. It doesn't appear to have much grounding or space at this time. Right now, what we are looking at is that was due process followed? What the citizens were doing, the fact that they could attack, well, I mean, when I say the citizens, the South Africans, what they were doing by attacking our citizens, beating them up, I mean, taking their properties without recourse to law, etc. Is that something we must encourage? Is that law? And President Ramaphosa, the fact that he's not able to, govern well, the fact that he can't protect foreigners, is that something that we must tolerate? Obviously, these are no. An emphatic no. This is a case in which law and order is broken down. Okay, so the president of South Africa has to bow his head down in shame. And, people are already lacing their boots to sue in the African court. Because, those that have been repatriated, etc., they've not been able to come down with their properties, etc. Exactly. These are things they've lost. And they are going to be heading to the African court to seek reparations. I mean, beggars believe that these are people, the South Africans, people we have nurtured here. Their leaders carried Ghanaian passports. We helped them in the fight for independence, etc. Gave them money, gave them passports, gave them education here in Ghana, etc. And that today they have the temerity. You see what happens when we don't teach our children history. Yeah, the young lady leading it, obviously, she doesn't appear to have any proper balance of the history of South Africa.
Jacinta Zuma?
Yes, she doesn't appear to have any proper, or maybe, okay, sometimes there's this other thing we forget. There are some people we locally call Boniaye, right? You remember even in the Bible, when Jesus healed the 10 lepers, only one, 10%, only one came back to say thank you. So I know you find it very much in life that you help somebody today, tomorrow, then he turns back to pay you with so much bad deeds and wickedness that you forget that, is this the person I gave a cup of water when he was starving, etc., right? Yeah, so it's a complex matter, but I think the greatest thing we should hammer now is the failure of leadership. Yeah, it's a failure of leadership. I think Cyril Ramaphosa has to be brought to book. He can't get away with that. I understand they are going in for another elections, and so it is convenient electorally to allow this to go on so that he would appear strong, his party would appear strong. But I mean, come on, how can you sacrifice other nationals, okay, on the altar of elections? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I think that he has to be reined in properly, he and his government, that this must never happen again. And then steps be taken to see so that those of our citizens that have come back, how can they get their properties back?
Yes.
Whilst they go to the African court to seek reparations, right? To get compensation, get their properties.
Because you have your investment there, all of a sudden one day you wake up and then you have to leave all the property, everything built.
That's expropriation. That's another way, you see, of expropriating the properties of these our citizens. Yeah, that's expropriation. Yeah, because you force them not creeping. Yeah, well, some would say call it creeping indirectly, because you say once you leave, then chances are high that they can then go have these assets. So you would see that officialdom is tacitly behind these citizens. Otherwise, that will not happen. You remember the first time the young man was targeted, the one Ibrahim Mahama helped, right, to resettle, etc. Is that the one Cyril Ramaphosa came back? He came to Ghana. He flew in, came to see the president, etc.
Yes.
Because, he's a significant shareholder of MTN. So that one, he was quick to come here, greet President Mahama.
Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yes.
The president.
Yes.
Is
so that
significant shareholder.
Oh, he's a significant shareholder of MTN.
Documented.
So that one, he was scared that there will be reprisal attacks here. So quickly, he flew in to come and secure his own packets. You see, and then he allows this to happen again. I'm like, what kind of people we have nurtured? People we have nurtured. Look at the risk Kwame Nkrumah took, and the subsequent government gave you education. A lot of them were using Ghanaian passport. See the money. So it doesn't count for anything. I mean, if you want our citizens to live, like you mentioned, let's go through due process. Give a bit of time. Let them organize, right? Let them organize. Let them see how they can sell these assets, etc. Before they leave. But not this jasu. Come on, leave. You must leave now. We can't condone that. Because I'm like, so which law is this? Or this is just the expropriation. Yeah, this expropriation of our
violent expropriation.
Exactly, I like that. Thank you.
In terms of the course key points, so Kofi Bentil and a lawyer Martin Kpebu, practice legal practitioner, lawyer, Munkomukudi, the xenophobic actions, and I said, name course of South African Mabontofa, then and also work on from the South Africa for the no Panasano, and I said, a bomb, it will be near Gobi into also Tawadre or sit empty of phone. Kamunquadia, Kaman in Siomo, Nescano, Yafam Pata, or now, of course, or Yeninu, Imuno. Aha, Ghana, a gossip TV show. Subscribe to YouTube channel, no Bibiano, it's me and your camera.